The way that we can get started in thinking of other ways to visualize the commute is by drawing a mind map. If you're not familiar with what that is, it's really just taking everything in your head, everything that you know about this thing, and writing it down, and then kind of trying to diagram the relationship between those objects. So at the center of this page, I'm just gonna write commute, because that is what we are describing and getting more information on. So for my commute, we've already thought about it from point A to point B, which is home and office. But we can think about it in lots of other different ways. So I've got, for my commute, a variety of options in terms of mode of transportation. So I'm going to write options, and then next to or nearby the word options, I'm going to list them out. I could Uber, I could drive my own car, I could take a bike, I could take the bus, or I could ride the metro. And in here, even within these options, when I'm talking about biking, I could either do bike share, or I could take my own bike. And if I'm taking the metro, I have two more choices. One is go to the station closest to me and then transfer. And the other would be to walk a little bit farther and have no transfer. Okay, so other than options, there's other things that could characterize my commute. So let's think about it in terms of time. Some of these options are very slow, some of them are fast. So let's say fast and slow, just as two different categories. We can also think about a commute from the perspective of cost. Some options are free. If I drive, I have to pay for parking. So that's like kind of expensive. We'll call that, there's an expensive category and then a cheap category. So we've got time, money, options, actual location. Another concept for my commute is predictability. So a lot of times, I know how long it's going to take me to bike to work pretty regularly, but if something like traffic gets in the way and I'm in a cab, that'll make my commute a lot longer than I think. So we could just call this high predictability, medium or low. And then another factor with the commute could be the weather. If it's raining or if it's cold, I'm going to choose one or the other option. Rain. If it's really hot, I probably won't ride my bike. So rain, hot, cold, and then perfect weather. So right now, I just have a bunch of words on a page, and I can see, because I want to kind of get them into logical groups, I might need to move some things around to create more space. So I'll do that now. And then this is the fun step. I'll start with the color yellow, and I'll choose the fill tool, and I'll just create little blobs around each word and categorize them. So I'll move over to cost and circle these as green blobs. And now we're going to create our spider web, tie everything together. So go back to this darker color, the same one that I used to write. And first I'll start with my different characteristics. Weather, predictability. And then within each one, you can create the relationship between cost and then the three different types of cost, or time and the two types of time. So now we've got a mind map that shows a lot of different ways that you could think about a commute. And what we want to do from here is to use this as a guide to start prototyping and visualizing your commute in all of these different ways. So the first activity, we'll start out by drawing our commute and choose three things that you've drawn on your mind map to move into a new type of visualization. So if you're new to mind mapping and you don't really know where to start, there's a ton of online resources that give you frameworks and allow you to enter some data and see how they're related or make that visual connection through an online tool. If this is something you're really comfortable with, it's super fun to do it in paper because you have limitless possibility. And what you can do is, create one and then duplicate that page, move things around, see how you could think of it differently. You can add different layers to it. So there's a lot of advantages to doing it in paper if you're comfortable starting there. So it may seem kind of strange that this activity starts with words and it's all actual vocabulary written out, whereas we've been talking about how drawing is more powerful than words. But this is just a starting point. It's a place to download kind of all the information that you have in your head. And if you tried to do this with drawings first, you wouldn't get as much information on the page as fast as you could if you're just sitting here writing the words out. And this is just going to be a guide to start visualization from here. In the context of this project, I wouldn't spend too much time on the mind map phase. You might find that as you go into some visualizations, you come up with new ways of thinking of your commute, and that's great. Just go back to this page and add on to it. But definitely try to exhaust all of the options that you can think of in 5 minutes or less, and get those on the page and then just move forward.